Hello again. It's the New Testament in a year. Today we're on day 158 and we're in Acts 4. And so today, off the back of yesterday, we read the miracle, this amazing miracle. This man who was reminded today had been crippled for over 40 years, was begging and he got his life back in a completely crazy, amazing, miraculous God moment. But here's the aftermath for Peter and John as they get hauled in and called to account for what has happened. And it's quite an intimidating thing. Obviously, they're put in prison overnight and then they're called to answer. So that is quite an intimidating thing. And yet I love that they are, there's a boldness. They're so bold with what they come back. They don't pull any punches. You know, they don't just kind of tell it as it is, but they really kind of stick the knife in. You know, they talk about, this Jesus Christ whom you crucified, and you've rejected him, but nevertheless this is who he is, and salvation is found in no one else. I mean, they are clear in what they say. There is they're going for it. They're almost going for the jugular. It's almost like they're I think that thing of when we realise that this is about life and death, this is about life in all its fullness, there is no other way than by Jesus Christ. There's something of that kind of determination. I don't think they were doing it like that just to annoy them. I think they were doing that because they wanted to bring the gospel, even in that moment, any opportunity to share the good news of who Jesus Christ is and what he's done. And so they go for it. And two things just to pull out from today, from this interaction that they have, is one of them is it says in verse 13 that when the Sanhedrin saw the courage of Peter and John and realised that they were unschooled, ordinary men. They saw the courage, they realised they were unschooled and they were ordinary. They took note they'd been with Jesus. And sometimes we are so aware of the things that we think disqualify us from ministering, whatever that looks like, where we are. We can think that we could never be used by God to do great things for him. And yet these people, they were unschooled, they weren't particularly intelligent, or they weren't from the upper classes. They were just ordinary people. And what the difference was as they had been with Jesus. And in our lives, it doesn't really matter in terms of being qualified to work with, for God and to see things happen in his name. Our education doesn't particularly matter at all. Our background doesn't matter. What we think about ourselves doesn't matter, except that we are with Jesus, that we spend time with him. That's what's going to mark us out. And that is what marked them out. And in fact, it's the truth that we see again and again in the Bible, the truth that when we're weak, he is strong, that his strength is made perfect in our weakness. And actually something of God was able to shine through because they were just ordinary, unschooled people. It pointed them to Jesus. So do not think that you're disqualified for any reason. What qualifies us all is that he loves us and that he's called us. So that's the one thing. The second thing is that, as we read on in our passage, they were told not to do this anymore, but they said, judge for yourselves whether it's right in God's sight to obey you rather than God. So key. We've got to fear God more than we fear humankind, so that we're following what he says above the voices of anyone else. So you are qualified because he loves you. So go in the name of Christ today and serve him in whatever way